Good afternoon guys and welcome back to the channel and welcome back into the simulator here. We are at Royal Waterfront.
How are you doing?
Very good, Dave. Dave's got his new shoes on again.
New shoes, new wedges. Had a bit of a disaster with them.
Oh, lost the head cover.
Lost an head cover, so I've had to order some more head covers.
Oh.
But this could mean Miss Saracen's dream of new shoes is dead.
So what's in the bag coming is Dave's new head covers. But Dave's new wedges, so his Tacoma Skyforger wedges, they are obviously now in the bag. We now need to think about, because it's the season, we need to think about how far each wedge goes. They're different to the wedges he had before. So we need to start to think about what numbers they have. Do they launch different? Do they spin? So that's what we're going to do now. Dave's got his mid wedge. He's got his 52-degree wedge. So before he goes to his pitching wedge. So we're going to see with different positions how far these go. So Dave's been working off a grid of pitching, which is a 9 o'clock swing, a 10 o'clock swing, and an 11 o'clock swing for each wedge in his set. And that's giving him different numbers. So,
but I never go to 12 o'clock because I always think I'm over swinging.
Yeah, so Dave's never using a full shot with these. He's always going to drop down a wedge and play more of a flighted one in.
See, I've actually remembered something
Whether
you told
he's practicing...
No, I do. No.
Debatable.
Yeah, okay.
So, we need to get these. So if you're thinking about coming into the season, what we want to see is that with a wedge, we want to be sending it in lower with more spin instead of it being higher. So I had a lesson today with a 20 handicap golfer who thought, well, yeah, if I send it higher, that's better. But if you watch golf on TV, if you go to live golf, you'll see they're sending it in very low with a lot of spin and a lot more control. And that's one thing Dave's worked on to get his handicap down over the last year and hopefully towards singles figures. So we're going to show you here. Dave's going to hit 5 shots with his 9 o'clock position. We're going to show you the average. We're then going to go to his 10 o'clock, then his 11 o'clock. And then next week we're going to show you how that fits in with Dave's 56. If you can hear some noise, I don't know if that was the sound effects of the wind on the simulator, but they will then go to his 60 and start to see, right, do we have positions with his 60? Is it something he would use a lot, or is it not? So Dave, take us away. I'll take this ball, because otherwise it will not pick it up. So Dave's going to take us away now. He's going to hit 5 shots with this, his 9 o'clock position. Talk about 9 o'clock for Dave. This is feel. So Dave will swing for his left arm to be parallel to the ground. It might, with momentum, take it longer. So it's all personal to you. How far is your 9 o'clock? But as long as you're going to the same position with the same kind of speed, we're going to generate a very similar ball flight, a very consistent spin, and a very consistent pitching number. So a nice motion from there for Dave. So that's 1 shot up. Let's have a look at his next one. So as we go through this, you've got to think about, is it your speed you're changing? Is it your club head? Is it your swing? Is it your release? We want to be consistent. So you've got to think when you're pitching, it's all about controlling your body speed. So if you swing to 9 o'clock and then go and try and hit it, you might hit it 90 yards. If we then go through at a slow speed, that might then go 40 yards. That is not going to be consistent. So you've got to get a feel of when you swing to 9 o'clock, what is your normal speed through and what are you comfortable swinging? So Dave's hit 3 shots there. We've got 2 more and we'll start to see with 9 o'clock how far this goes. So very consistent, we can see there. That one's carried 48, gone 56. So we'll see what the average is and we'll see the dispersion. You've got to know these numbers. Very important is the carry number, because if you're trying to carry over a bunker, carry onto the front edge of the green, that is our most important number. We need to know that more so than the carry. So let's have a look at the averages now. So averages on the screen there, you can see that Dave's average carry was 44.8 yards. His total average was 51. So stopping in 6 yards, which is good. Launch angle is 30. And we then can see that that's pretty consistent. And that's what we want to get from Dave. We know that that's going to be his average. So we know if he's got trouble, if he knows he has to carry something 47 yards, then this isn't going to be the club. This could potentially go into that trouble. So we'll have to see in coming weeks which one gets him a 50-yard carry and would that shot be better. So let's move position now and let's see what that does to these numbers. So Dave's doing his 10 o'clock swing now. So let's see what that does. We're going to go and fast forward through these so we get to the averages. So averages on the screen now, we can see Dave had a couple of missed strikes in there, so a couple that carried into the 50s, mid 50s, but on average carrying a 65-yard shot, going 72 yards. So that's his number there.
But that's reasonably consistent with the 3 of them. That's 3 out of 5.
Very consistent there. So obviously a couple of missed strikes. Dave obviously knows what he did there. It was a little bit slower, and it's just committing to those swings. But a nice average of 61 yards carry, going at 78. But we know for Dave on the golf course, he's going to count that as his 65-yard carry because his good ones were going 65, and that's what he knows he needs to do. So let's go to 11 o'clock and see what that gives us. So 11 o'clock up now, we are going to fast forward through these shots and we'll see what numbers we get. So we can see Dave's numbers there for the 11 o'clock swing. We can see we've got on average an 85-yard carry. We can see it as total, that's stopping again in 6 yards at 91. So we've got a 45-yard carry, we've got a 65-yard carry, and we've got an 85-yard carry. So next week we're going to show you with a 56 how that would fit in. Does it fit the gaps? And what clubs Dave's going to use.